East Rutherford Police Department. 312 Grove Street, East Rutherford, New Jersey 07073. Date September 11, 2001. Reported by Sergeant Ravelli. Action taken, Bergen County Bomb Squad dispatched. This officer was on special detail at the above location diverting traffic from further travel on Route 3 East, rerouting the traffic north on RTL 20 and 3 West. While diverting traffic, this officer was informed by dispatch of a national broadcast related to the terrorist attack earlier in the day. The information relayed was to be on the lookout for a 2000 Chevy van color white NJ registration JYJ13Y occupied with approximately 3 or more individuals. A short time later, this officer observed a van traveling quite slower than the rest of traffic east towards me on the service road that appeared to be a newer model Chevy with at least 2 occupants. I immediately informed Sergeant Ravelli of the possibility of a match on the vehicle. As this officer approached the vehicle, I did not observe a front license plate. I went to the rear of the vehicle and observed the license plate, NJJRJ13Y. I felt that the one-letter difference in the plate could have been a mistake and requested a confirmation. The return transmission revealed the plate on the van matched the broadcast, so at this time I returned to the driver door and requested the driver to stop the vehicle and exit. The driver did not immediately exit the vehicle and was asked several more times, but he appeared to be fumbling with a black leather fanny pouch type of bag. This officer then physically removed him. Sergeant Ravelli removed the passenger and one other passenger from the passenger side of the van, and with minor assistance from officer in training Yannicone, the other 2 occupants were removed, placed on the grass off to the shoulder, and this officer read all 5 individuals their Miranda rights. The van was secured and headquarters was requested to immediately notify the county bomb squad and FBI of the situation. All occupants were transported to the state police facilities inside the Meadowlands Sports Complex by state troopers to await the arrival of the FBI. FBI agents responded and took over the scene. All 5 were separately transported to the state police facilities in the Meadowlands Sports Complex by state troopers. Further investigation by the FBI. Prior to the transportation to the state police facilities, this officer was told without question by the driver, "We are Israeli. We are not your problem. Your problems are our problems. The Palestinians are the problem." Federal Bureau of Investigation. Date, September 15, 2001. 2. National Security. From, Newark C9. On September 11, 2001, several complaints and interviews conducted by the Newark Division with respect to the events surrounding the explosions at New York City's World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and airline flight number 93 that had departed Newark. On September 11, 2001, a housewife and Union City, New Jersey resident, advised that at approximately 9 a.m., September 11, 2001, her neighbor called on the telephone to tell her that she saw smoke coming from the WTC. In order to see the WTC more closely, she used 7x33 and power binoculars to view the scene. From the rear window of her apartment and while looking in the direction of the WTC, she observed 3 males kneeling on the roof of a white can located in the rear parking lot of her apartment complex. According to the housewife, the males appeared to be taking still photographs and video of the other males with the WTC in the background. All of the males appeared to be jovial in that they smiled, hugged one another, and gave high fives. As the vehicle later left that area, she recorded the license plate, JRJ13V. Later that day, when the housewife returned home, she provided the police with the information pertaining to the males. Another complaint. Subsequent investigation by Newark criminal agents revealed a second eyewitness who reported having observed the white van in the same parking lot described by, redacted. This eyewitness, however, observed the van in the parking lot as early as 8 a.m. on the morning of the explosion at the World Trade Center. The third interviewee later reported, as documented on an FB 471, having seen, on September 11, 2001, time not noted, a big, white, Model 2000 Chevrolet van, or possibly panel truck or U-Haul truck, bearing the words Urban Movers in black lettering along the side. The vehicle was observed in the Liberty State Parks Marine Terminal in Jersey City, NJ, located across the Hudson River from WTC. Pursuant to this information, East Rutherford, New Jersey police authorities stopped an Urban Moving Systems van at a pre-positioned roadblock which was occupied by males similar to those described by witnesses above. The van had been traveling eastbound along State Route 3 in New Jersey. Following the stop, police detained 5 individuals, all Israeli nationals, on the grounds that they may have had information pertaining to the WTC explosions. The matter was later forwarded to FBI Newark, and the individuals were detained based violations of immigration their status. A search of the van and the vehicle's occupants was conducted at the times of the vehicle stop. The vehicle was also searched by a trained bomb-sniffing dog, which yielded a positive result for the presence of explosive traces. Swabs of the vehicle's interior were taken, and those samples were sent to the FBI laboratory for further analysis. Final results are still pending. Seizure of the individual's property yielded the following: a 35mm camera, several personal telephone-style notebooks, backpacks, airline tickets with immediate travel dates for destinations worldwide, Israeli passports, in some case, expired, a German passport, $4,700 in cash belonging to, redacted, and $1,200 in cash belonging to, redacted. Student identification cards later believed to be false were also found. Oddly, equipment typically used in a moving company's daily duties was not found, including work gloves, blankets, straps, ropes, boxes, dollies, rollers, etc. Also not found was the video camera that T1 observed at least one of the males using to film the explosion at WTC. Film obtained from the 35mm camera of one of the detainees was later developed and processed by the Newark division. The photos clearly corroborate, redacted, statements in that the Israelis are visibly happy on nearly all of the photographs. Further, the photos revealed that the Israelis had taken photographs from both the top of a van and from another location believed to be a parking lot near the Urban Moving Systems location in Weehawken, New Jersey. The same Israeli nationals identified earlier were detained. During questioning by the Pennsylvania State Police, the Israelis advised that they weren't in New York on September 11, 2001. A gasoline purchase receipt recovered by the Pennsylvania State Police seems to contradict their claim in that the receipt, dated September 11, 2001, was for gasoline purchased in New Jersey. A search of Urban Moving Systems, Weehawken, New Jersey, revealed more oddities which caused the search team leader to characterize the company as a possible fraudulent operation. Little evidence of a legitimate business operation was found. Evidence recovery agents did seize, however, 16 separate computer units used by Urban Moving Systems. The FBI presence at the Urban Moving Systems search site drew the attention of the local media and was later reported on both television and in the local press. A former Urban Moving Systems employee later contacted the Newark division with information indicating that he had quit his employment with Urban Moving Systems due to high amount of anti-American sentiment present among Urban's employees. The former employee stated that an Israeli employee of Urban had even once remarked, "Give us 20 years and we will take over your media, and destroy your country." Based on information provided by the Miami division, Newark detained, initially, and interviewed 4 employees of Classic International Movers, a New Jersey-based moving company which was believed by Miami to have been used by one of the 19 alleged hijackers involved in the terrorist attacks. All 4 employees, Israeli nationals, had served in the Israeli military, and entered the U.S. from various locations in South America. A notepad belonging to one of the 5 Israelis contained 2 sets of numbers. Investigation revealed the overseas telephone number was coincidentally subscribed to by an individual in South America with authentic ties to Islamic militants in the Middle East. This number was later identified as a legitimate bank account belonging to a friend of the Israeli who lent him $200. Washington, some 60 Israelis, who federal investigators have said are part of a long-running effort to spy on American government officials, are among the hundreds of foreigners detained since the September 11 terror attacks, Fox News has learned. The Israelis, a handful of whom are described as active Israeli military or intelligence operatives, have been detained on immigration charges or under the new Patriot anti-terrorism law. Federal investigators said some of them failed polygraph questions inquiring about alleged surveillance activities against and in the United States. There is no indication the Israelis were involved in the September 11 attacks, but investigators suspect that they may have gathered intelligence about the attacks in advance and not shared it. A highly placed investigator told Fox News there are, quote, tie-ins, but when asked for details flatly refused to describe them. Evidence linking these Israelis to 9-11 is classified. I cannot tell you about evidence that has been gathered. It is classified information, the source said. An Israeli embassy spokesman offered categorical denials, and said any suggestion of Israelis spying on or in the United States is simply not true. But Fox News has learned that one group of Israelis spotted in North Carolina recently is suspected of keeping an apartment in California to spy on a group of Arabs who the U.S. authorities are investigating for links to terrorism. Numerous classified documents obtained by Fox News indicate that even prior to September 11, as many as 140 other Israelis had been detained or arrested in a secretive and sprawling investigation into suspected espionage by Israelis in the United States. Investigators from numerous government agencies are part of a working group that has been compiling evidence in the case since the mid-1990s. These documents detail hundreds of incidents in cities and towns across the country that investigators say, quote, may well be an organized intelligence gathering activity. Investigators are focusing part of their efforts on Israelis who said they are art students from the University of Jerusalem or Bezalel Academy and repeatedly made contact with U.S. government personnel by saying they wanted to sell cheap art or handiwork. Documents say they targeted and penetrated military bases, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, dozens of government facilities and even secret offices and unlisted private homes of law enforcement and intelligence personnel. Another part of the investigation has resulted in the detention and arrest of dozens of Israelis working at kiosks in American malls, where they had been selling toys called Puzzle Car and Zoomcopter. Investigators suspected a front. Shortly after the New York Times and Washington Post reported the detentions of Israelis on immigration charges last month, the carts began vanishing. Why would Israelis spy in and on the United States? A General Accounting Office investigation referred to Israel as Country A, and said, according to a U.S. intelligence agency, the government of Country A conducts the most aggressive espionage operation against the U.S. of any U.S. ally. A defense intelligence report said Israel has a, quote, voracious appetite for information. The Israelis are motivated by strong survival instincts which dictate every facet of their political and economic policies, the DIA report said. It aggressively collects military and industrial technology and the U.S. is a high priority target. Israel possesses the resources and technical capability to achieve its collection objectives, the document concludes.